Spring starts at the Home Depot, and we are bringing the heat to your backyard this season. Fire up the flavor with our wide variety of grills for under $300, like the Next Grill 4-burner gas grill that's perfect for hosting your spring cookout. Then set the scene and turn your outdoor space into the go-to spot with patio sets for every budget. Bring it this season with grills that deliver flavor and patios that set the vibe from the Home Depot. Start your spring with low prices guaranteed at the Home Depot. Exclusions apply. See homedepot.com/price match for details.
Get in the game with the college-branded Venmo debit card. Wreck your team with every tap and earn up to 5% cash back with Venmo Stash, a new rewards program from Venmo. No monthly fee, no minimum balance, just school pride and spending power. Get in the game and sign up for the Venmo debit card at venmo.com/collegecard. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. Select schools available. Venmo Stash terms and exclusions apply at venmo.me/stash terms. Max $100 cash back per month.
Think about everybody in the world. What do we need? We need entertainment, we need food, and we need sex.
Okay.
That's just America. That's
so they're not
gonna, you know what I mean?
This is the plaintiff, Laura Burns. She says the defendants, her aunt and her lover, agreed to watch her Chihuahua disco. And when she was ready to pick him up, they told her no. No? What does that mean? What it means is they refused to give her beloved pet back. She's emotionally attached to Disco. Can't believe the defendants are trying to get away with stealing her dog. And she's suing for $5,000, the cost of the dog and loss of future breeding income. These are the defendants, Tina Petro and Chris Robinson. They say the plaintiff went to rehab and they watched her dog. When she got kicked out of rehab for bad behavior, she told them to just keep Disco because she was going to have to enter a halfway house. She never once called and asked about Disco. She never gave them a dime for his care. And as far as they're concerned, Disco's now a part of their family and they're not giving him back. They're accused of having Disco fever. The defendants have filed a countersuit for $537.50 for vet bills, shots, and dog food.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay, Laura Burns.
Yes.
You are suing Tina Petro and Chris Robinson. Tina is your aunt?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. For $5,000, a statutory maximum in your state for refusing to return your dog after she was temporarily caring for it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. 200 of that for the cost of the dog and 4,800 of it for loss of future income because they spayed the dog and for emotional distress. All right, you are counterclaiming against her $537.50 for money that you spent taking care of the dog if I order you to return the dog because you want to be recompensed for money that you're out while she did not have the dog. What happened to put you in a situation where they were taking care of your dog?
Well, the first time I came to a realization that I had an eating disorder and a substance abuse problem.
A what? An
eating disorder. Yes, I'm a recovering bulimic. I checked myself in voluntarily to an inpatient treatment center when I returned to Orlando.
Wait, during the first time, you mean the first time you asked them to take care of the dog?
Yes, correct.
Okay. The name of the dog is?
Disco.
Disco. Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead.
When I left treatment, I came back and they gave him back to me, no problem. When I returned home, I did relapse on my eating disorder and substance abuse.
What's the substance?
Marijuana and alcohol.
Okay.
I checked myself back in to treatment on December 12th. I made an agreement with Tina and Chris when I dropped the dog off at their house that I would complete treatment and move into a halfway house. And once I was out of that halfway house and felt that I was stable enough, then I would be able to get my dog back.
Okay, now, you get out of the halfway house when?
I moved out of the halfway house July.
Okay, and
Mid-July.
under what circumstances do you leave the halfway house?
I left voluntarily because I was struggling with my eating disorder.
Go on.
I moved into an apartment with somebody who's also in recovery, and they've been in recovery for multiple years. And then at the beginning of January, purchased my own house. I work a full-time job. I work 48 hours a week.
Okay. And when is it that you attempt to reclaim Disco?
The beginning of September.
And what occurs?
September came, and I called and left both of them voicemails. They did call me back from their home phone and told me they didn't approve of where I worked. They didn't approve.
Why? Where do you work?
I work at an adult novelty store.
Okay.
They didn't approve.
Why? Because that is going to affect the dog's welfare to know that she works at an adult. All right, go ahead.
Basically, my Aunt Tina says it's not going to be long before you're a prostitute when you work in an industry that sells sex novelties and toys. And I said, you know, that's your opinion.
What was the phrase you used in your complaint? I kind of liked it. That it's
a recession-proof job. Think about it. Everybody in the world, what do we need? We need entertainment, we need food, and we need sex.
Okay.
That's just America. That's
so
just
they're
the
not.
world, you know what I mean?
Well, I guess you mean sex toys, right?
Yeah, DVDs,
okay.
you know, magazines. It's all that. Clothes.
Okay.
It's, you know.
All right. Okay. According to you, what's the agreement?
Okay, the agreement was, the first time that she went, we handed Disco back. The second time when she went to rehab, she walked in, she was clearly under the influence and handed me Disco and said, take care of Disco. There was no talk of giving him back or whatever. I'm not quite sure where this is coming from because when Laura went to rehab the first time, I took her. Us not giving Disco back has nothing to do with where you work, Laura, at all. I love my niece very much. It's hurtful because I know what she's capable of, and because everybody in our family who has gone out of their way, I paid for her therapy. My nephew gave her a place to live for a year. Everybody who has gone out of their way to help her has gotten hurt. When she lived with my nephew, he had to ask her to leave because she was disrespectful to his marriage. In fact, I have evidence that he wrote that even when she lived with him with the dog, she didn't even take care of the dog. They took full care of the dog.
I saw that statement. So according to you, when she comes in December and hands you the dog and says, take care of the dog, she's under the influence?
Yes.
And she says, take care of Disco. There's
She
no
says,
take care of Disco until anything.
Right.
There's just
And
take care of Disco.
Right. We heard from her once between the time she handed me Disco and September. That was Easter. My family has a huge Easter dinner, and she came to it and spent about 2 hours there. There was no discussion of her taking Disco back. So the first I heard in September, the call from her was she wanted Disco back. And I had told her that Disco was part of our family. He has a loving home. We had taken care of him financially. And during that entire 10-month period, Laura never called, never texted, never even tried to find out how Disco was doing.
I'm just curious, from a family perspective, when you say I didn't hear from her in 9 months, did you ever call her at the rehab to see how she was doing?
No.
How come?
Because at that time, my kids were asking me why the first time I went every single Sunday. Why
No, I don't expect you to go every single Sunday. I'm just wondering what kind of faith you had lost in her at that point where there was never any contact for 10 months.
I was hurt because the first time she got kicked out of rehab, she had been lying, and it was very hurtful.
So when you saw her in Easter, what was it like?
It was fine. She came, we hugged, we had a good time.
And she see the dog?
Yeah, she was there for 2 hours.
Did she mention at any point in time about when she wanted to take the dog back?
No, not at all.
Is your testimony different on that point or not?
Oh,
really?
yes, definitely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
On Easter, what happened?
Easter, I did. I had not spoken with them out of respect for my recovery. My therapist at the time told me that a lot of times triggers for me are family issues. I have issues with my mom that go back to childhood and make me want to act out in my eating disorder, which makes me want to act out in substance abuse. So when I went to Easter, it was a good time. I held the dog before I left, cried for about 20 minutes. They also stood there and cried, and I said, I can't wait till I can bring you home with me. I wish I could take you now. And I know they heard the statement along with my brother, my mom, my grandma.
Do you have any statements from any of your other relatives?
I have a letter from my dad, my mom, my brother, and the girl who I actually purchased the dog from, saying they believed that I was the one who was supposed to get the dog back once I was able to.
Let me go ahead and see the letters. Did you overhear her say, I can't wait to get you back?
No.
All right. So now it's September, and you get the call, and what do you tell her?
So when she called that September day, and we got back to her, we said that she had basically abandoned the dog. We'd had the dog for 10 months, and that we were keeping the dog. It was part of our family. We had cared for it. We have the vet bills. And then on December 31st, I got a demand letter from her where she says that she was going to take us to court if we did not give the dog back. And I tried to send her a certified letter back to that address, and it came back as addressee not known, so I couldn't even get her a letter to let her know, no, we weren't giving it back, and
Did you tell
here's
her I'm not giving the dog back?
Yes.
Tell?
Yeah.
And what did she say to you when you told her that?
She said it was none of my business, it was nobody's business but her own where she lives, and that it didn't matter because she was going to the court tomorrow and she was filing.
Look, what I'm concerned about, obviously, is what was the agreement between you two? Is this the dog?
Yeah, that's the dog. And on the back of that picture, that's when he's a puppy. It's got the date that picture was taken. And in that picture, he's got a little stuffed sheepy thing that I have right here. That's his stuffed animal that he eats his eyes out.
Okay, let me tell you what is not my concern. I don't really care who's a better home for Disco. Mm-hmm. Disco's a piece of property. Mm-hmm. I love dogs. I know everybody thinks it's a member of our family. This is not a child, it is a dog. And therefore, the only issue that I have in front of me is what was the agreement between the parties? Was there a clear understanding that would lead you to the fair assumption that the dog has been abandoned? And then what happens to the dog? Court's in recess.
All rise.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, is the dog abandoned or not after 9 months?
No.
Why do you say?
Because it's still its dog. It just wasn't able to take care of it while it was away, and it asked to.
She asked.
She asked.
The dog's an it. She's a she.
She asked to take care of the dog, so.
I understand that, but after 9 months and no contact.
Well, obviously the previous owners, like if he's high on drugs, maybe you should have a dog.
Well, that's not necessarily true. I mean, people have all sorts of problems and they have dogs.
But she was sick before, and now she's better, so she wants her dog back.
So she gets her dog back.
Yeah.
Even though she had no contact for 9 months.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
Tough one. Tough one. How are you doing, by the way?
I haven't had a drink, a drug, or non-abstinent food since I left my halfway house.
Good for you.
I go to meetings 6 days a week.
It's got to be hard to be you.
It is, you know what? And it's something I know I'm going to struggle with every single day for the rest of my life. You know, the only thing I can do for it is just do one day at a time.
Right.
And get through it and
Right.
wake up the next morning knowing that I did what I was supposed to.
Right. Well, I commend you for being able to pull yourself out of the abyss that you were in. All right, so let's talk about this. Yeah, as I said earlier, I'm not here to decide who's a better caretaker of Disco. That is not what this is about. It's a property case. And I have to decide what the understanding between the parties was. You know, you say, oh, it was that when I got out of the halfway house and got my act together, eventually, whenever that was, I could ask for the dog back. They say our understanding was absolutely nothing because she came to our door, handed us the dog, and said, take care of Disco, and went off. And we didn't hear from her, save Easter, for 9 months. So I've got to sort of look at the circumstances and decide if it's legal abandonment, as in, do you give up the rights to the property because you haven't had anything to do with the property, all right? There's no dispute about the following testimony, that from January to September, there is no talk because of whatever issues. You've made a decision that was important to your rehab not to have contact, and that's fine. But the truth is then that that's a fact, that there is no talk of the dog during that time. The most you can point to is that on Easter Day, you cuddle with the dog and say, I can't wait until the day I can take you home. You deny having heard that. That's what we have. We don't have clear understanding that the dog is going back. I don't have you sending money to them saying, this is for food for Disco. I don't have you sending money for vets for Disco. I don't have you asking to visit Disco. I don't have you asking that they bring Disco. I don't have you in any way, shape, or form other than, oh, one time I cuddled my dog and said, I can't wait till I can get you back. That's it in 9 months.
Yes, and I definitely would have compensated them if they had given me a phone call and said, you know what,
I know, but
if we're going to
listen,
continue.
if I was your aunt, I'd have called you. If I was your aunt, I would have visited you. okay? I'm not here to decide whether she's a good aunt or a bad aunt, okay? And I don't know the history between the two of you that might have led her to decide that she's not going to contact you. The fact that I am proud of the success you've had and that I think you would be a good owner for Disco at this point cannot come into my thinking.
Okay.
Okay? I've got to look at the actions and I got to call it. And it's really hard for me, but I just can't do it in this case. As for your counterclaim on the upkeep, of course, if I'm finding that it's your dog, it's your responsibility for the upkeep. So 0 on your counterclaim, and on your claim against them, also 0. And I find that you've relinquished your rights to the dog based on the events of those 9 months. And I really, really wish you luck.
Thank you.
Well, with difficulty, the judge rules in favor of the defendants. Come on in here, and that means you have to say goodbye to Disco.
I did everything I could. I put it in God's hands, and there's nothing more I can do. I wish him the best of luck, and I wish them the best of luck. But
How hard is it going to be for you to go on without him?
It's definitely going to be a challenge with all my other issues I have going on, but I'm not going to let this destroy everything I worked so hard for.
Yeah. Well, you're on the right track. Maybe you could go get another dog?
No, I think I might go look into getting another family.
All right, right down there.
Thank you.
All right, so she's obviously distraught over this. Come on in here. Was it worth it to put her through this?
We didn't put her through this. This was her doing. She already has another dog, actually, and everybody in her family loves her dearly, and we've tried very hard to help her. I paid for her therapy. I don't know what else I could have done for her. But I'm happy that Disco is in a happy, healthy home.
Right. You won't stop trying to help her, will you?
No, but I can't support some of the things she's doing.
Let's go to Harvey.
Okay, by the way, even if the plaintiff would have won this case, small claims court judges do not have the power to order somebody to return property. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Protein is now at Starbucks, and it's never tasted so good. You can add protein cold foam to your favorite drink or try one of our new protein lattes or matcha. Try it today at Starbucks.
This is the plaintiff, Bertha Cummins. She says she received numerous calls from the defendant claiming she may be at risk for having a fire because her chimney looked bad. She agreed to let him take a look, and he informed her that her liner was installed improperly and showed her how the bricks were falling out. She got nervous, signed a contract with him, and then, when cooler heads prevailed, she canceled in the allotted time, and he won't return her $250 deposit, so she's suing. This is the defendant, Donald Ulrich. He says the plaintiff hired him to fix her dangerous chimney, and then 3 days later told him she wanted to get other estimates. He never heard anything from the woman until the day before he was supposed to start the job, and that's when she told him she was canceling. Well, he's sorry, but he already purchased materials and has every right to keep the plaintiff's deposit. He's accused of burning up a customer.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff was warned by the defendant that she might have a fire because of her chimney, so she paid some money for something, but she canceled. Now, she wants her money back, but he says no way. It's the case of chimney chum.
Bertha Cummins,
Yes.
You are suing Maximum Energy Savers, represented here by Donald Ulrich.
Yes, correct.
Okay. For $250, a deposit that you paid to him that he refuses to return after you canceled the contract. When did you hire him, and how did you find out about him?
The company called me. A Pat from the company gave me a couple of calls, maybe 2 or 3 days before, a week or two before, telling me that they wanted to come and check my chimney out.
But who are they to call you and say, like,
Which they told me that they had got my number from the fire department.
Wait. They got your number from the fire department?
This is what she said. She said, we got your number from the fire department, and we want to come and check your chimney out. Because I never called them. They called me several times.
Why would the fire department give out your private number? That didn't sound suspicious to you?
No. She said they actually get a list from the fire department saying, but the fire department never came to my house and looked at my chimney, so yes. So I agreed for them to come, and 2 or 3 guys, I think it was 2, came to the house. When me and one of the guys went up to the roof to look at the chimney from the top, and he was working with the other guy.
You went up on the roof?
Yes. So me and one guy was on the roof. He was looking down with the mirrors and stuff, checking it out. The other guy was in the basement looking from there. So when we came back downstairs, me and the guy from the roof, the guy that was in the basement, he actually had opened up the chimney part and started taking bricks out, showing me that, yes, this is very dangerous. We have bricks started falling. You need a new liner. It's a problem with your... So I was like, oh, my God. So I was like, yes, I need a new liner. I need more than a chimney cleaner.
Did you actually see him pull the bricks out?
When I seen him pulling bricks out, they were right there. He just put his hand right there and pulled out.
I want to make sure he didn't bring the bricks in his pocket or something.
Right. So he pulled a couple of bricks out. So I said, okay, I must need this lining. The bricks is right here. He's showing me them. So they told him, they called the boss, and they said $1,000. I said, wow, that's way too much. So he negotiated and told me $850. So I said, okay, $850 is fine. And he said, well, we have to have a deposit now. So I said, okay. I said, I don't have cash with me now. So we walked, they drove, and I walked 2 blocks and went and got $250 from the cash machine and gave them.
Doesn't the whole thing sound like a holdup to you? To the point where they follow you to the ATM and you don't think this is a little fishy?
No, after that. They was following me because he said, you need a deposit. We can't do it right now. We had to order the parts.
Why don't they just come back some other day? Why does it have to be right now? Why don't you shop around and get a few prices and opinions? Right. So anytime you're doing construction work on your house, you should get 3 estimates.
I know.
But I mean, the whole way this happened is so kind of predatory. I'll be with you guys in a second.
Okay.
It's kind of predatory the way you're describing it that I just don't understand why you'd go. Nobody's following me to an ATM, okay? Because I don't know how anybody could get me to go to an ATM and follow me there.
No,
all right, so you get the money out of the ATM and you hand them how much, ma'am?
$250.
All right, and then what happened?
They wrote the contract.
Let me see the contract.
They wrote the $250 down and told me the balance from $850 from the $250.
Okay.
And then, so then I go home. I'm like, okay, woo. I'm very nervous because I'm thinking my house is going to blow up. So I go.
Why is your house going to blow up?
No, because I don't know.
Right, you could just not use your chimney.
That's why I go downstairs to cut the lights and everything off. I said, well, let me get, I go in the boiler room, and I didn't see the bricks there. So I says, okay, where are the bricks? So I didn't see them no place around.
They got them in their pocket for the next place they're going to. No.
So then I went out to the garbage. I said, okay, then they should be at the garbage. Maybe they took them out to the garbage. They wasn't at the garbage. They wasn't there. Then this is the first time something said, duh. So that's when I said, oh, my God, maybe I shouldn't have did this. I did this too quick. I didn't. And so the next day, that was the 7th, the 8th, I called Don and told him that I did not want the job, I want to cancel. I said, I didn't get a couple of bids, I just got you. So he says, no problem, very nice. No problem, Ms. Cummings, you can get a couple of bids. We'll give you to August 15th and you'll get your money back. And then he changed it to August 17th. So when I hung up with him the next day, I called right away Angie's List. So I called Angie's List. I got a guy who said he'll come out the next day, the 9th, and look at the chimney. So he came out, and he looked at the same thing, and he gave me a cheaper estimate.
Did he confirm that the bricks were coming loose?
No, he didn't see no bricks. He didn't mention any bricks or anything
like that. He confirmed that you needed a new liner.
He gave me the same exact job that he was giving me, but it was $659 on that day. After he left, I called Don back the 9th and told him, I got another estimate, and it was much cheaper. And also, I was suspicious because your guys came. All I know is these bricks came out, and they disappeared. And I asked him, what happened to the bricks? And when I told him those 2 things, that was the last he was nice to me. He said, you just want a cheaper job? That's not going to do you any good. You just got something cheaper. Just because it's cheaper don't mean it's going to be better. He said, I'm going to give you your money back. I was like, and I had to stop him and say, Don, this is professional. How are you speaking to me like this? It was just shocking that this man was speaking to me. He said, well, I'm going to give you your money back. So I was like, boom, hung up the phone, fine, I'm going to get my money back. That was the main thing. So then I waited a week. I called Pat, the lady who told me, who was calling me from the beginning, and I just called her and said, I had spoke to Don last week. He told me he was going to give me my money back. She said, no, you ain't getting no money back. She said, actually, the part that you needed, I had to take the money out of my pocket and buy that part, so the part is already bought and you ain't getting no money back. I said, okay, bye, hung up. And then I called my lawyer. So what she said to me, after I told her the story, she said to fax me the contract. If the
So you
notice
faxed
of
her the contract, what did your lawyer
cancellation,
tell you?
she said the notice of cancellation, you did not sign it, so you should be able to get your money back because you did not sign the notice of cancellation.
What difference does it make? Whether you signed it or you didn't sign it, it tells you that you can cancel. What's going on?
Well,
Wait, first of all, what is the stuff about the fire department called us and all?
We do not call. I have telemarketers.
How
and
many?
Like I said, I have advertisement. I would say around 15.
Well,
I've
what
never
does your
used the
whole
fire
telemarketing
department.
crew say to get in there?
We do say we are members of the NFPA, which is true. We are members.
What's NFPA?
National Fire Protection Agency.
Who are the members of that association?
Every chimney company that's
Every
legitimate
chimney company is in it.
has
That I
their
believe.
NFPA members.
Okay, so according to this customer,
Yeah.
somebody identifying themselves as Pat says that they paid for the part.
No Pat in my company.
What woman would she have spoken to who said that? Did you say it was Pat?
I have a male manager named Mike.
No. She says she spoke to
A female. It's definitely a female.
Obviously, let's be aware of the scams that go on out there. A lot of companies call up. Yeah, I mean, I just seen it on Fox News. So I don't know the exact conversation, like I said, from what she said. But the only person that would speak on the phone is me or my manager, Mike.
According to her, she's saying that somebody said we got your name from the fire department. You're saying she's mistaken.
Yeah,
Okay, so
absolutely.
then you guys go over. Are you the person who goes over?
No, I have technicians that are on the field.
Do those folks who you sent out make a commission?
The technicians, they make commission and salary. Yes.
Okay. So they're salesmen.
No, I wouldn't consider them salesmen.
If you make a commission for making a sale, what does that make you, Douglas?
Sounds like a salesman to me.
I don't know. It kind of sounds like a salesman.
A salesman to me is somebody that goes out and sells the job. These guys know how to do the jobs.
So now you have a customer who calls you the next day. You acknowledge that?
I called her on the 8th, okay, to confirm the appointment for the 9th.
Okay, so then if you have a contract that allows, because it's the law
Yes,
in
I know.
your state, that they have 3 days to cancel, then how are they ever going to cancel if you hustle and get the job done in the 3 days?
She could have called us.
Well, she told you the next day, I want my money back.
But she told me at 8 o'clock at night when we were confirming for the appointment.
So if she has 3 days and she took one, is your defense to me is she took 1 day and that was too late?
Well, my defense is that on the contract, she decided to do it within 2 days. She wanted to get it done. How would you have a right if materials are bought for that job?
So what was it you told her on the phone when she called you that day?
I told her that day that, look, you can go out and look for other estimates. That's fine with me. All right, I'll give you another week. And then once again, it came to the end of the time, and she had said she got somebody else to do it.
Okay, so why am I here, my friend?
Okay, so suppose he's violating the law, the businessman. What do you do as a consumer to retaliate?
I'd say you get on social media, you get on, all these review sites, blogs, you just say terrible things about the company.
Does that work? If you go and say Yelp, does it actually work where people listen to that? Anybody know? Anybody go on Yelp? Yeah.
All the time, absolutely. I don't go to a restaurant if it gets a bad review or a doctor.
So you always look?
Always look.
Interesting. Who else? You look?
Yeah, of course. If it has bad reviews, you don't buy their product or anything like that. So
you really look at this before you make decisions?
Yeah.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Going inside the courtroom.
Why am I here?
You're here because there's a 3-day cancellation. She called you on day 1, told you she wanted to cancel. You told her, I'll tell you what, think about it. Take another week. You can cancel at any time in the next week. She calls you and she can't. She does exactly what you say, exactly what's in the contract, and you still refuse to give her the money. And when I'm looking at you saying, I'm not understanding, why won't you give her the money? Your answer to me is, oh, it's too late. I already ordered everything. If you're telling a customer they have a week, how do they magically not have a week? A week is how many days, Douglas?
7?
Right, so that's within the time you said you'd give her. So now there's not 1 but 2 cancellation periods that she makes.
The night before. Again.
I don't care. I don't care if it's a second before. What is your defense other than that you want to cheat this woman out of $250?
Look, it's not about the money. I save lives.
Oh, Lord, it really does look about the $250 because it certainly isn't about the integrity.
The principle.
What principle are you standing on when you breach a contract?
But on that contract, it also says that a notice of cancellation has to be sent to us.
No, on that contract, your last sentence says You can cancel by X. Once you turn around and tell the lady, oh, take a week. No worries, take a week and then you can cancel. Hey, you know, in this world, sometimes you just lose.
With all due respect, I have 100,000 clients, don't have a complaint filed against me.
Yeah, well, can I tell you something? You look like garbage right now. What do you want to say? I want to hear it. Go ahead.
The Better Business Bureau, I have papers here that he has an F on the Better Business Bureau that I
You're
just
looking
printed.
at that's Maximum Energy Savers. Look at Maximum Energy Savers Incorporated. You'll see it on there.
Oh, it changed his business name so you couldn't find it. Okay, you know what? I bet you those bricks were in the pocket. I'm done. $250, verdict for the plaintiff.
Are you kidding me? A chance to put a cap on this thing here. It didn't go very well in the courtroom. And how do you think you come out looking there? And how is that wrong?
I own two businesses. One of my businesses it's a referral service. We help customers get the right jobs done, and that's what I do for a living.
What about the scams that are in your field?
There are.
So
and that's why I brought it up.
You get painted with that brush.
Yeah, we do, and I just got painted with it right now.
All right. Head right down this way, okay? All right, let's see what the plaintiff has to say. The judge was with you on this one. How you feeling coming out of there?
I feel good. I thought it would turn out like this.
Do you feel like you were caught up in a, well, I'll still use the word scam, do you? Or was it something else?
I think so, and I should kick myself because I usually don't do things like I did.
Act too fast? Or?
Act way too fast, didn't get estimates.
Impulse?
Ready, give him cash. I should have gave him a check, then I can stop it.
What were you thinking?
When he showed me those bricks, I thought that I learned.
You learned something?
Yeah.
Harvey?
Well, here's the deal. This guy's a crook. And in a sense, it's everybody's responsibility who deals with somebody like this to go on Yelp and let everybody know. It's the only way to really effectively exercise your power as a consumer. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
New Maybelline Serum Lipstick. Maybe it's not just lipstick, it's lush color with endless possibilities. It's serum infused with a hyaluronic acid and oil blend for 8-hour plumping moisture in tone-enhancing shades. It's more than the shade, it's who's wearing it. You. New Maybelline Serum Lipstick.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
This is the plaintiff, Shanker Nayar. He says he was at a four-way stop in his 2003 Toyota 4Runner, and as he proceeded through the intersection, the defendant drove into his driver's side wheel. The accident was most definitely the defendant's fault, but he refuses to pay for the damages he caused, so he's suing for the $1,315.45 he's owed. This is the defendant, James Degnan. He says the accident didn't happen like the plaintiff says. In fact, it was the plaintiff who crashed into him. That's right. The guy smacked right into his car, and he's lucky neither he nor his 7-year-old were injured. He thinks the only reason the guy filed this bogus lawsuit is because his insurance refused to pay. He's accused of a vehicular assault. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $500 for his deductible.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff says he was driving along when the defendant nailed him in an intersection. But the defendant says the plaintiff was the crasher. It's the case of a crash course in car accidents.
Okay, Sankar Nair?
Yes.
You are suing James
Degnan
for $1,315.45 that you are going to have to spend or spent in order to fix a car from an accident that you say was his fault. You are counterclaiming against him $500 for your deductible that you had to pay to fix your car when your insurance, I take it, handled your car.
Yes.
What happened?
Well,
Come on up to the board and show me.
The accident happened on November 27th at 5:35 p.m. It was a dark evening. It was raining.
It was a dark and stormy night, okay?
Dark and stormy night.
Pick a car you want to be.
My car is blue.
Okay.
And this is the other car.
Okay, now it's a four-way stop.
It's a four-way stop.
Okay.
And I came here.
Okay.
Stopped here.
Okay.
And I did see a car coming from here, but I was already here. I stopped and I proceeded.
So you saw his car, and his car had not reached a stop sign yet.
Yes, it was.
So you felt you had the right of way.
I couldn't see what kind of car it was, or I saw the lights. So I stopped here and I proceeded
But you're positive you got to the stop sign first because you saw that he wasn't at the stop sign yet?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I proceeded this way, and, somewhere around here, this car came and hit the front wheel of my car.
Just the wheel?
Just the wheel. The damage is only to the wheel.
Show me the paperwork for the estimate.
Okay. This is the estimate, and this is the actual repair itself.
Okay.
Okay, so you folks get out of the car, and what is said to each other?
When I got out of the car, the defendant asked me whether I'm all right, and I told him, yes, I am.
And then what happens? Are the police called out?
Police, he called the police.
And the police wrote a report?
Yes.
Do either of you have the police report?
Yes, I have it.
May I have it?
Thank you, sir.
All right, now, did you contact him and tell him you got to pay for my car?
No, I made a claim against his insurance company.
And then his insurance company denied the claim?
That's correct. The letter from the insurance company is here.
Let me see that.
And this is my reply to the insurance company.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Based on our investigation, we do not believe our insured was legally liable for your damages. Our insured did stop at the stop sign and then proceeded into the intersection when you did fail to stop at your stop sign and struck our insured's vehicle. In the absence of legal liability, we would not be justified in making settlement. Therefore, we're denying payment. You send them a letter saying your conclusion is incorrect. Your insured hit the side of my car. I've sent you photos to prove it. Okay, but so what? He hits the side of your car. If I'm driving where I'm supposed to drive and then someone runs a red and gets in my way, I'm going to hit them, but that doesn't make me liable. You can't be in a place you're not supposed to be, so...
Well, I'm the one on the right-hand side.
Yeah, and what relevance does that have?
Under the New York State driver's manual, it says that the person on the right-hand side has the right-of-way.
You're not finishing that sentence. If what?
If both of them arrive at the intersection at the same time.
That is correct. That's the
But
part of the sentence you're not saying.
But I did arrive first.
You arrived first. Okay, let me hear from you.
Okay, Your Honor. Returning home, I was proceeding northbound on Armstrong Road.
You want to come up?
Okay. I stopped at this stop sign proceeding northbound. There was a car in front of him that stopped. That car proceeded. Then I started to proceed northbound, and then he pulled up the stop sign, and I kept going. We had the accident, and then after that, I got out of the car. I said, "You okay?" I said, "Yes." And I said,
"Show me the accident. Put the cars where they..."
Pretty much about where he put it, right along that line.
All right, go ahead and go back to the lectern. Were you in the car alone?
I was in with my son.
How old is your son?
How old are you, Peter?
A little bit over 6.5, but still 6.
Oh, come on.
We got to hear from him, right?
I want to hear from Peter.
So who's more responsible? The guy who could have avoided the accident or the guy who didn't have the right of way?
Personally, I think the guy that could have avoided the accident, pedestrian is always number one.
Well, it's not a pedestrian. We're talking two cars. But what is it? The guy who avoided it or the guy who didn't have the right of way?
The guy who could have avoided it, because if he has a chance to stop an accident, then why not?
Here you go. Going inside the courtroom.
How old are you, sweetheart?
6.5, but a tiny bit over, but still 6.
Yeah, a tiny bit over, but still 6. Okay, were you in the car when this happened?
Yes.
Yes. And is this the first accident you've been in?
Mostly, yeah.
Okay. What was it like? Tell me what happened.
I mean, I was amazed that this was happening.
Mm-hmm.
I know this has happened a lot of times before.
But not to you.
Yeah, not to me.
Right. It's a bigger deal when it happens to you in the car. Were you looking when it happened?
I mean, I was looking at it was happening.
Okay.
But when it was happening, I was sleeping. So I felt the boom, and then I woke up surprised.
Okay, that's no way to wake up.
Because the other car, he was like pushing us like over into the side of the road over there.
Okay. Wow.
So I was kind of a little surprised about that.
Right. Dad, you can just sit down. I'm having a final time with you. All right, you are a doll. Go ahead and sit down, sweetheart. Good job. Very good job. All right, you lose because he's cute.
Okay.
No. Let me ask you a question. Okay. You handed me the police report.
Yes.
And in the police report, I'm a little bit concerned because the officer talks to both of you and he writes down what you say.
Yes.
So that people can't change what they say later. And here's what the police report says. Vehicles 1 and 2 were in a collision. Driver 1, that would be you,
Yes.
stated he stopped for a stop sign and did not see the other vehicle.
What I meant was, when he hit me, it was a surprise to me. I did not.
Just ask to young Peter.
I did not. Yes. I couldn't do anything to avoid the accident because I didn't see him right before he hit me.
Sir, it is so simple. Who got to the stop sign first?
Me.
How do you know?
Because I saw him approach.
Then why do you tell a police officer you didn't see him?
What I told him is that I could not avoid him because I didn't see him.
If you didn't see him, then how is it that you know that you got there first? You know
Yes.
what happened? What happens all the time? The car in front of you goes, so you're not paying attention, so you go. But it's not your turn. It's the other guy's turn. And you didn't stop. That's what happened. That's why you told the officer, when you were still being honest, I didn't see him. I have
been driving a car for 40 years.
And?
And I had never had a chargeable accident. And
Accident.
And that is no accident.
No, this is no accident. This is an accident. And it resulted in $1,000-something.
I never had a chargeable accident.
And you know who else it resulted in a problem for? Him. Because he had to pay a $500 deductible, which he didn't even bother to sue you for. But since you've done him the favor of suing him, he has now filed a $500 counterclaim against you for the deductible. That way he won't be out anything. Now, not only am I going to look at what the police officer wrote down and not believe he's in some cahoots against you, but I'm going to look at this and say, you owe that man $500. When you tell an officer on the scene, I never saw that car, you don't get to just come into court and change it so that you can win.
It doesn't happen.
That
is not what I
Not in
said.
this planet, not here, not in my courtroom,
Your Honor,
and not
that
in
is not
any
what-
other courtroom of
I'm
any
sorry,
thinking
that is
judge
not what
in
I said.
America. Verdict for the defendant on the plaintiff's claim against the defendant, and verdict for the defendant on the defendant's counterclaim. $500 verdict for the defendant.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thanks, Peter.
The plaintiff looks both ways and then comes out into the hallway. Okay, step on in here. What's your feeling about coming out of there empty-handed?
I'm kind of disappointed because the judge didn't.
She listened to every word you said very carefully.
She didn't interpret what I said correctly.
Well, like the policeman didn't either, right?
He didn't.
He didn't. Nobody's interpreting what you say correctly. Why is that? Maybe.
No.
The accident was your fault. Maybe.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Well,
that's how it is.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
All right. You just go right down this way. All right. Did the judge interpret what you said correctly?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, so step on up here. Satisfied how this comes out?
Yes.
Peter, come on in. Peter, come on in over here, right in front of Dad. And turn this way.
Turn this way, that's the camera.
Right, turn this way. Let me tell you something. You won the case.
He's why I won the case.
You won the case.
Yeah.
What do you
Okay.
think? How do you feel about that?
I mean, I feel pretty good, but it wasn't our fault.
Right?
I mean,
go on.
yeah. I mean, it wasn't our fault,
Well, that's
but
what the judge agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And all because of what you said, pretty
That's it.
much.
You did a good job.
Yeah, nice job.
I just want
All
to
right.
say that
See you.
if he would have just waited
Peter summed it up.
a split of a second more, his car would have went right into his
Harvey?
door and hurt him.
Okay, Kurt, so this happens so much in court. The plaintiff comes in and says, I haven't had an accident in 40 years, as if that means he didn't have an accident and he wasn't the cause of it this time. It's irrelevant. It's totally irrelevant. You could have a spotless driving record, and that doesn't mean you couldn't screw up yesterday. And the bottom line is each case is looked at fresh.